Flosstube friends, it's Sherry, Colorado Cross-Stitcher, coming to you with my number 26 Flosstube, and this is my channel about cross-stitching. So today I have Oliver, we call him Ollie, in the beginning of the video because I'm going to ask you a question about your stitching buddies. But we lost one of our cats this past winter. We had 3 cats, which was not something my husband wanted. But I think 3 cats are perfectly reasonable. Now we have 2 cats, and I guess that's more reasonable. But we've got Oliver and we have Lexi, and Lexi is walking around. So if she jumps on the table, I'll show her to you. But Oliver is our tuxedo cat. He is 5 years old, and he is 15 pounds 3 ounces as of this morning. We keep an eye on his weight because he had a little bit of a issue last summer with, I think he was developing an allergy to his food. Anyway, he's back up to his glorious 15.3 pounds. And so he does stitch with me sometimes. Sometimes he sits with my husband, but sometimes he comes over and sits on my lap while I'm stitching, and he's ready to go. So I'm gonna let him go. All right, say bye to everybody because you're so cute. Okay. Let's get into stitching. So I have finishes today. I have progress on 2 things. I have cross stitch camp information, which I'm excited to share with you. And then the last 5 minutes I usually reserve for information about just new things that we've added to the ColoradoCrossStitcher.com shop. So that's at the very end if you don't want to see that. So let's jump in. First I want to show you my calendar. And you know, this is my rebellion against all my perfect scrapbooking pages for years and years. Is just I sticker it up, and I'm having way too much fun stickering. So this is my April calendar, which I finished out, and then May calendar. This is the Book of Days by Needlework Press. You can use any calendar, of course. It's really it's got some nice quotes in there about different needlework things and different images, but I feel like I've covered up a lot of the images just in my stickering. But I have found that adding the stickers makes my pages a little bit thicker and sturdier, so that's kind of good. So anyway, I usually put my new starts for the month over here in the margin, and the stash that I purchase over there in the margin, but then I also add pages in the back of my calendar, plans that I have, stash that I've added, smalls that I want to do, and finishes that I print on that little Polaroid zip camera that I've shared with you, and then I have it spiral bound. So that's my calendar, and that has all my progress. Also, I'm doing such a good job of keeping track of my fabrics because in previous, well, probably 6 videos ago, I started this, but I was so bad about being able to tell you what fabric I was using, and you guys always ask, and I totally understand that. So keeping track of it in my calendar has helped me a ton. So first of all, let's look at finishes. These are basically starts and finishes because I did some smalls. Oh my goodness, I gotta reach to get them. First of all, I did sorry, I should have pulled this out first. One of the pillows from For the Bowl series by Threadmilk Designs, and I will show you some of the other series patterns that she has in the shop section, but I did the little Be Ye Grateful pillow, and this is the pillow that I did, and really it was a one evening stitch. I mean, it's so quick to do, and I did this on, hang on, let me look, 36 count Winter Moon with number 1189 Sulky. So she calls for, well, I'm not sure what she calls for because they're all mixed together, but I decided to do it in I just wanted kind of a deep burgundy color to go with, and I'm going to leave this out all year. It's not going to be just a Thanksgiving kind of a pillow, but I love how it turned out. It was super fun to stitch and super quick to stitch. So that's from Threadmilk Designs For the Bowl series, Turkey Tavern. And there are 4 designs in this pattern. So I have 3 more options if I'd like to do that. So that was a fun finish, start and finish. And then I have loved this little pamphlet ever since it came out at market from Heart and Hand, and it is called Imprints, Berries and Blooms. I did not put the little ties up at the top, although I think that looks really cute, but here's my little berries. Again, probably a 1 night stitch, maybe 1.5 nights. It's very quick to do. And here is blooms, put them together. Super fun, and I thought, you know, I'm really short on spring and especially summer. I guess I have some patriotic pillows, but short on some of those decorations, and then I put red polka dots on the back because red polka dots, that's my thing. So again, these were really fun to do, and then I just used some of our chenille around the edges. And I don't think that I used the called for threads just because I don't think we had them at the time. So it's really only 3 colors. So I just picked out a red, a sagey green, and a really pretty blue that I liked. And so again, these are easy ones to do with just stash thread because it doesn't take a whole lot, and you can pick the colors you love. So those were a super fun little finish as well. I had another little finish, but that's the camp badge, so I'm going to show you that at the very end. And then I went to St. Louis to visit my folks since I last floss tubed with you, and when I go there, I wanted to take stitching, and I have a little travel lamp, but I wasn't sure if I would be able to set it up and use the magnifier where I was going to be hanging out and stitching with them. And so I took 16 count Aida, which I can use and stitch on with just my glasses. So I decided to take this project, which I've had for a long time and wanted to do for a long time. And I had to frog like 3 times. I don't think it was a lack of magnification, it was just I got off in my counting. It's so frustrating. Anyway, I got the top done and it was fun to do, and usually when I have some kind of a mistake, I try and just fudge because it really doesn't matter. And most things it doesn't matter. And I think it's Jean at the attic says always move forward, never move backwards. Well, frogging is moving backwards. But in something like this, where all of these have to line up like that, and also they butt right up to the diagonal here, and then the pattern comes with that piece of wool to put in the middle, which I just haven't done yet. You got to be right on. You can't be a square off. So that's why I had to undo and redo. And so next I'm going to do the around the edges, and then on the bottom is blank. You use the same material for the bottom, but I got the idea that on the bottom I'm going to stitch all the names of all the cats we've had, and I think that'll be a fun little pin cushion to have. So I'll show you that when I get to that. And I'm going to visit our son in Albuquerque next weekend, which I'm really excited about, and I'm going to take the sides of this, so hopefully I'll be able to work on that a little bit. All right, then I had progress on 2 big things, and I was looking back at some of my floss tubes and I felt like, boy, you have had that piece as a whip forever. So I need to start getting some of these big pieces done. I've never had so many big pieces ongoing, and I love all of them, so I really want to work on them. So this time I just focused on 2 of my bigs. So the first one was a Quaker Dwelling, and I am doing this on, and it looks beautiful on the white, but I'm doing mine on 32 count weeks Havana because of Olivia B. She was doing hers on, I thought, a mustard color, and I've shared this before. She's doing hers on a beautiful, like a old faded brick color, some kind of color. But in my mind, I was picturing it mustard, so I picked out Havana, and I love how it's coming out on this. So I think last time I didn't do anything on the house this time, but I did most of the Quaker motifs this time. So we had, let's see, I had that little top one done, but I think I did most of the rest of all of them. And so you can see I'm almost at, really I just have this big motif here, this one here, and then this part of the house. I don't know. It's not really even, I guess it's halfway done. There's 2 pages, and I'm done with the first page, which goes all the way across, so I just have the bottom page, so that's helpful. But I love working on this, and I'm using the called for MPIs. I did accidentally change the color of the chimneys. That was not on purpose, but I misread the symbol, and I ended up making them light, and in the pattern they are dark. But after I did them, and remember, move forward, not backwards, after I did them, I thought, you know, I do kind of like the brighter pop up there at the top. So I'm going to leave it. And I was thinking, because I worked on this morning, I wanted to finish these 2 the little bird and the little bee, or whatever that bug is. I worked on that this morning, and then I thought, oh, I'm just going to work on this tonight. I'm going to keep working on it. And then I ironed the other one that I spent time on this month, and I thought, no, I'm going to switch over to this one because that one is so fun. So I don't know what I'm going to do tonight, but anyway, isn't that fun? Such rich colors. And we have this, we just got Weeks Cocoa in to the shop, which I think would be so pretty with these blues, because blues and browns always look great together. So fun to stitch. I have something in my throat, sorry about that. So what I was going to mention about the fabric is, when you use hand-dyed fabrics, it starts out as a certain count. So this started out as a 32 count before Weeks dyed it up in this beautiful color. Once it comes out of the dye pot and gets dried and ironed, it's going to be a little bit smaller. So I counted, and this is actually 35 count once all is said and done. So it started out as 32 count. They advertise it as 32 count, but just know that there's a little shrinkage that happens in the dye process. So if, for example, you always want to be stitching on 32 count and you don't want anything smaller than that, you might look at 28 count in your hand-dyed fabrics, because that is going to shrink a little to probably around 31 count or so. So just keep that in mind when you're buying, or buy what you usually stitch and then get yourself used to stitching on a little bit smaller if you like to. So that's fun too. All right, the other one I worked a lot on was Quaker Christmas 2. And this is perhaps, well, I know I say that all the time when I finish a big project, that it was my favorite ever project to work on. And I really mean that every time. I am having so much fun working on this. Part of it is because it's not a single color, but almost a single color project, which I really like, because you're only thinking about stitching. You're not really thinking about symbols because everything's the same color, which did get me into trouble on this, and I'll tell you about that. But it's just so relaxing to stitch on. This is by ByGone Stitches, and so I put a lot of time into this one since the last time. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. So I think I did most things under Let There Be Peace on Earth. So all the way down the side, and now I'm to the bottom, so that's really exciting. So I just have, 2/3 of the bottom to do, I guess. But here's the situation. So I was stitching along, and I posted this for one of my Saturday stitching, what do I call that hashtag? Saturday stitching snapshot. I try and post on Saturday evenings something that I'm working on for the weekend. And I noticed in my picture that Let There Be Peace on Earth was stitched in red on my piece. And I thought, well, that's weird, because all of the Christmas carols are supposed to be in green. And I went back to the pattern, and sure enough, I had stitched it in red because I was just going along, you know, enjoying not having to pay attention to the symbols. So I took that all out and put green in there because I felt like in the pattern you really needed the green relief in there. I don't know, it just pops more to me. And I didn't want to always look at it and think it's really pretty except for that middle part that's supposed to be green. So that was a redo. So I need to get credit for that. Redo stitching. But isn't it fun? And it's on 36 count Winter Morn. And it is done with sulkies. So I'm doing it, and people always ask me what color, so let me look. It is 1174 and 0035. And I don't know how many spools I will use yet. I'm still on the first spool of green. So I may get by with just one spool of green, but I'm on my 4th spool of red so far. So that takes a little bit more. But there's just so much to look at in there. I just love it. I probably would never have been drawn to it from this picture, but I think it was Cindy C. Stitches on Instagram who, I know she made this and gave it to her daughter. And I'm sure she's the one I saw who had finished it, and it looked so beautiful that I thought, well, I'm gonna have to do that one. And ByGone Stitches also has a Christmas Quaker one, which we just got into the shop, so I'll show you that at the end too. But so I put time into 2 of my Quakers. I only have 2 Quaker pieces going on, and they both got a lot of stitching time this month. And I'm just really gonna try and keep up with getting some of these things done. I used to work on a project for a week, and then I'd work on the next project the next week. And this month I worked on each of these for probably 2 weeks, and then I did, you know, a few nights of the little pillows in there in the midst of it. And I think that's what I need to do, just so I can get more of these pictures finished up, because I am anxious to have them, not on my wall, because I of course take them all to the shop, but I'm looking forward to having them framed up. So that was my progress on stitching this month. Stash, I do have a little bit of stash. And a couple little things I got. Well, first of all, I got this Forbidden Fibers fabric, which these came in and went out this week, but her colors are so gorgeous. This is spearmint, 40 count spearmint. I don't know if the color's showing true or not. The colors are just so soft and beautiful in her dyeing. And this one has a little bit of blues, a little bit of blue, but it's mostly green, which I thought would be super fun for a holiday stitch of some sort. So I got that, looking forward to that. I sent out a newsletter this week, and I said we got scattered seed samplers, and I want to do every one of the patterns, and I am not even kidding, because her stuff is so fun. So I did take 2. I try not to do that the first time I get patterns in. For the shop, I try to just leave it for everybody else, but I just couldn't stand it. So I got this one. What is that called? Set Free Pin Keep, which I'll probably do as a little pillow. I just love that little bird getting out of his cage. And I love the colors. And it looks like a pretty quick stitch. This one, I've always loved the heart and hand symbol. So this is, I should look at these titles before I hold it up. Heart, Hand and Heart Stitcher's Mat. And I don't think I'll do it as a stitcher's mat, but I love each of the parts so much. I'll probably do, like, you know, this top part as something to frame, and then I'm going to do these little hands as little pillows, and then probably this couple as a pillow. So I just love that. Cannot wait to work on that. Then somebody came in the shop and had this book, which I immediately, while she was standing there, went on Amazon to find an order. And it's so interesting to me to read about the different meanings of the different motifs. Some, you know, that you could figure, and some that you just think, wow, okay, I never would have picked that. It also has a few different patterns in it, interspersed, and it was just like $27 or something. So I thought that was a really good deal, and I'm really enjoying learning more about sampler motifs in this. And then I went to the antique store. I found this cute little book, which, you know, I've only finished one thing on a book. That's a Teresa Kogut idea, but it looks so cute standing up. You know, you take the, ooh, I got a bonus. Look. I didn't know that was in there. Now I'm going to read it. It's a little card. Mr. Weber, with the best wishes of the class of 1901. Hiram T. Stevens. That was not planned. I didn't even know that was in there. Look, I love their old writing. How come they all had such cool writing? Because they wrote with fountain pens that were just kind of wispy looking. All right. The best wishes, class of 1901. I'm just going to keep that tucked in there. Anyway, I thought it was a great little size for some kind of a, I probably will try and do some kind of a holiday, Merry Christmas, not ornament because it's going to be on a book, but something like that on here, which it's going to be cute. And little, I like the little size. Then I bought this. Oh, I was going to show you. Well, never mind. I'll just tell you. Salt shaker, or it's probably a sugar shaker being this big. And it has a flat front. And I have plans for this that I will show you once I figure it out. But if you don't already have a salt shaker, that's what I keep my used up needles in. So I had somebody ask me the other day, how do you know when to switch needles? When do you start using a new needle? Well, I start if it gets draggy or catchy, like the end has gotten ground down a little bit, or you find it snagging on your fabrics. Most of the time I'm switching needles when it starts to bend, because I do the sewing method, so I do get a bent eye after a while. Usually I can go at least 1 or 2 projects before I have to switch out a needle. But what do you do with all those needles? Well, I saw on somebody's Flosstube probably a year or more ago to get an old, well, for me it's old because, you know, I love antiques, but an old salt shaker, and just keep tucking your needles through the hole, and when it's full you can just empty it out into the garbage safely. And so that I thought was a great idea. And my salt shaker came with 3 hat pins tucked in the top, which is kind of cute too. So I just keep that right next to my stitching chair and pop those in. But I have a different idea for this, so I will show you that when I get it done. Maybe this next month I can get that done. So that is my stash. Now, 3 things, because you know I like to share 3 things with you. So my first thing is not an app, it's a YouTube channel called Calmed by Nature, and I'll put a link below. And I don't know how I found it one time, but sometimes I'm a night owl, so I stay up most nights till midnight. And you know, like between 11 and 12, I don't like to listen to or watch things that get me too hepped up, because then I can't go to sleep. So sometimes I put on Calmed by Nature, and they have things like a cafe, like a coffee cafe, coffee bar with jazz music going. And it's a stationary picture, and it's not a real picture. It's like an illustrated picture, but you've got the little jazz music playing in the background and the clink of glasses, and they have like a cabin in the woods with the night sounds, and they have a beach house with the crashing waves and a lot of thunderstorms, which is always fun to stitch too. So sometimes I put that on just because it's just soothing and calming, calming and soothing, and lets me listen to something. Not that I need something, but I do kind of like something going on. And some of them are like 8 hours long, because they're meant to be used if you want to listen to them all night long, which I never do. But anyways, Calmed by Nature, you might check it out. They have a lot of fun different things to listen to. And then the second one is these photography tiles, and I found this MK Photography, but I'm going to tell you her name. Michelle Ciarlo Hayes. I will also link below. I found this in one of my favorite shops in St. Louis, which is really the only one I went to while I was there, but isn't that cool? And she has all different kinds, and actually that one behind me is one of hers as well. And then I bought one to give as a gift. I love her tiles. They're wooden tiles, so they stand up on their own, like you can see. And this one I have hung up on a wall, but just really cool things that she does with her photography and her illustrations. So I'll put that link below. And the last thing I wanted to share with you in my 3 things is a recipe, and you don't even have to write it down because you'll remember that. This is for cross stitch camp. It's called Camper's Crunch, and it is delicious. It's like having s'mores in a snack mix. So you do equal parts golden grams, mini marshmallows, and milk chocolate chips. And you can see how that would just taste like a s'more. So if you need a little snack for your camp stitching, now you cannot eat it and stitch because you don't want to get your stitching, dirty. But you can eat it, wash your hands, and then stitch. And it's delicious. And it stays, I don't know, for a month or so in a airtight container. So equal parts golden grams, mini marshmallows, and milk chocolate chips. I'll write that below just in case you forgot it, but it's fun to put together. All right, the last time we had a challenge, each one teach one. So I want to know if any of you guys have taught somebody to stitch this last month. I taught my very good friend Cheryl how to stitch, and I put a picture on Instagram, but I'm going to put a picture right here. So Cheryl is an amazing knitter. She's an amazing quilter. She has a long arm business, and I'm telling you what, she's the best long armer I know. I'm so glad to know her so I can pay her to stitch my quilts when they're ready. Her stitching or her quilting channel on Instagram, not channel, what is it? Her Instagram name is Hedgehog Quilting. Anyway, I was so excited that she agreed to learn to cross stitch. And so I taught her, and that was so fun. And she has already, now I said this on Instagram, but I kind of tried to direct her to a more simple pattern and fabric. But no, she picked one of those bees by the blue flower, and she picked 25 count Lugana over 1. And she's finished the bee already. It looks beautiful, of course, and she's really enjoying it. And she already told me before she even started the first one, she's like, well, I'm going to need the other 2 bees too, and she will. So that was super fun. So I hope you guys are also doing each one teach one, and that, well, it goes through the end of May because I'm going to do a drawing for somebody to win gift certificates. But I think we should always be thinking each one teach one. I would love to see our stitching industry continue to grow, and more people take it up, because you know how much you and I love to do this stitching. Would love to see more people have the joy of stitching in their life. So hopefully we can all continue to teach people and share it. All right, let's see. So last time we did a giveaway for a fun, very summery project bag. And these are all, Deborah at Joyful Stitching Store on Etsy always sends me bags to share with you guys, and I just love her bags so much. I have more of her bags than any other, and I just ordered 2 more this week. So this was the bag that we did last time, and for our giveaways, she always adds a little accessory pouch and a couple of skeins of DMC that match with the fabric she used. And you were supposed to use the word pink in your comment if you wanted to be in the drawing. And the winner is Joyce Andrews. So Joyce, if you get a hold of me, my information is in the drop box below. I will get this shipped right off to you. And then we have a new bag for this next giveaway. This one is so cute. 2, they're all cute. That's why I keep ordering more. Well, part of the reason I order more is they're all cute, and part of the reason is I keep starting projects in these project bags, so that's partly a problem. This one is adorable. Red pickup trucks with puppies. Isn't that cute? I don't know if it's, I think I could make a case for lab puppies or golden retriever puppies. So sweet. So if you're interested in being in the drawing to win this beautiful project bag from Deborah, let's use the word puppy in your comments below. Puppy. And that goes along with, some of you might be able to use it when you answer my question of the day. Last time our question of the day was, who taught you to cross stitch? And I shared with you who taught me to cross stitch, and it was fun to read all of your comments on that. And I was amazed at how many of you are self-taught. You know, cross stitching is not hard to teach yourself. It's just interesting that so many of you learned how to do it on your own. And that's one of the reasons I'm glad with the Each One Teach One that we're all actively looking for people to teach in case there are people around us who would like to learn how to do that. So our question of the day this next time is, do you have a furry stitching buddy? So that's why I showed you Ollie at the beginning, because he's my stitching buddy a lot of nights. So do you have a furry stitching buddy? Cat, dog, ferret? I don't know. Do ferrets sit around and snuggle in when you stitch? I don't know about ferrets so much. So leave that answer below if you have a furry stitching buddy. And if you do, you know that their fur ends up in your pieces. I'm constantly stitching and pulling that out, and after a while you just give up. So they'll always be a part of your pieces. That's kind of nice. Okay, let's get into cross stitch camp. So last year, and I didn't have a shop or anything last year, but I had done a yarn camp, knitting camp, with my shop, The Loopy U, for 11 years, 11 or 12 years. And I thought it would be fun for the cross-stitching community too, and I wanted to participate in a cross-stitch camp. It's a virtual camp, so it doesn't cost you anything to participate. It doesn't require you to travel anywhere. There's no mosquitoes. So it's a virtual camp. So we did it last year, super fun, and I wanted to do it again this year. So this is our second annual cross-stitch camp. Now, have you ever been scrolling through Instagram or on Facebook and you see there's a group doing a stitch along and you think, well, I wish I could do that. I wish I was invited to that. Or you see a group has gone to a retreat or met with a group of people at a shop and you kind of feel left out. You do not have to feel left out anymore, because stitching camp is for everybody. And you can all be a part of it, and I hope that you really have fun with it. So this is how you do camp. You can participate in any month that you want to of the summer. We have a different challenge for June, a different one for July, and a different one for August. You can do all three, or you can do one. Let's say you're going to be out of the country busy in June or something, but you'd like to do July and August. That's perfectly fine. There are very few rules, which I will share with you, and those rules are mostly just for the drawings. All right, so the challenges. In June, the challenges, and these are all new projects, so you're going to start June 1st and you're going to finish June 30th or sometime within that month. If you can't start June 1st, you're going to start June 7th, perfectly fine. If you're going to get done on June 20th and you have till the 30th, perfectly fine. But somewhere in between the 1st and the 30th, you have to start and finish a project. There's no qualifications for how big or small it needs to be. If all that you can do is a bookmark and that's going to be your project for June, then that's great. Join us and do the bookmark. But the June challenge is to stitch something that celebrates a holiday. Now, it can be any holiday that you choose to celebrate or want to stitch for, but choose something that celebrates a holiday. I am thinking, I pulled this out to show you. I'm thinking I'm not sure if I'm going to do this one or one of the Christmas ones, but I've been in the mood to stitch Prairie Schooler lately, and I love some of these old-fashioned ornaments on here. So I might be doing one or several of these. I would only have to do one. Technically, you only have to do one project, but I think it would be fun to do at least a trio, wouldn't it? So I may be doing that, or I may change and do a Christmas one. So the month of June, stitch something that celebrates a holiday. The month of July, the challenge is to stitch something that you can finish in a way that's different than framing it. So not going to go in a frame. And you don't have to finish it during the month. You can finish it this fall when life settles down or whatever. You just need to finish the stitching part. But a lot of you have expressed interest in learning how to do a biscornu or a strawberry or finish something on a book like I talked about earlier. There are so many different ways to finish. So I brought a few examples of things that I have finished on that aren't typical. Well, first of all, remember I showed you the tin that I finished on last fall. I did a Halloween design on it. Well, that's at the shop. I forgot to bring it home. But this is the same size antique tin, coffee tin, which would be super fun to finish something coffee on there, or also patriotic, because those are patriotic colors. So you could finish something on an old or a new antique can or tin. This is one of the things I found at that antique store, I don't know, several months ago. And this is going to be fun to finish, probably an oversized kind of a pin pillow on. So I'm looking forward to that. So that would be another one. I finished this with the Blackbird Gals at a retreat once, and this is just a paper mache book. I'm sure they got it at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, somewhere like that. And then you finish the design on the top. And then it sits very comfortably wherever you want to put it. So that would be a fun finish. You know, the aisles at the craft stores are full of paper mache things like this, or wooden things that you could pick, and I suggest maybe thinking about that first, because then you can adjust the size fabric you use to fit that particular thing. Here's another finish that I did, not framed. This is a cute Lori Holt design. And I had this antique box, and so I did that long narrow and finished that on the front. And you know, I could easily finish something else on the back and just rotate how I display these older wooden hoops. So that also would be a fun finish. So those are just a few ideas. And again, you don't have to finish the project. You don't have to fully finish the project in July. Just make something that will allow you at a later time to have fun experimenting with some new kind of finish for you. So that's July. Haven't decided yet what I'm going to do in July. And maybe I'll do that book. You know, that little red book I got. Maybe I'll do something on there. August, and I think I'm always going to do this for August because I love this challenge. August is to try something new. So something new to you. So it could be a new designer you haven't stitched before. It could be a new fabric you haven't stitched on before, either a new size or a new color or a new dyer of hand-dyed fabrics. It could be new threads, a new line of threads. Maybe you haven't tried silk before. Maybe you haven't tried hand-dyed flosses before. Or new specialty stitches. So some of you were wanting to learn some specialty stitches, and so maybe you want to try that. So August is try something new. I will, actually I'm going to put a link in the Dropbox below to link to a page on our website that has all of this information on it. And you can refer to that if you have questions. But just to recap, June is to stitch something that celebrates a holiday. July is to stitch something you can finish in a unique way, and August is to stitch something that's new to you. So I hope you'll join us for camp. Now, the couple of rules, the way that I can keep track of these, the participants, the starts and finishes, all of those things, the way that it's easiest for me to keep track of is on Instagram. So Instagram is the social media of record, I like to say. Now I know not everybody has an Instagram account. You can still participate in camp, whether or not you post. The posting is just to be entered into the drawings at the end. Now that is a good part of it because we do get a lot of really wonderful donations for prizes. But that's just the way that I can manage it while still working full time and all of that stuff. If you don't have an account on Instagram, it's very easy to set it up. You can use some fake made up name. You don't have to post anything personal. You can just use it for your stitching. So there are ways to do it even if you don't want your own identity out there on social media. I need to be able to see it. So what you're going to do is you're going to post the first of the month your supplies. Don't post the pattern itself. You could just post the cover of the pattern so we see what you're going to do. Maybe lay your fabric over it and your flosses, and hashtag, let's see, what is the hashtag? Cross Stitch Camp 2022. Cross Stitch Camp 2022. Because last year was Cross Stitch Camp and there's over 1,000, there's a lot of them out there. So let's keep it simple and let's add 2022 this year. And I'll put that hashtag below. And then also hashtag me, ColoradoCrossStitcher, so that I see it as well when you put it on there. And I will like your picture when I see it. So if I have clicked the little heart button, and you'll get notice of that, ColoradoCrossStitcher has liked your photo, then you know you're on my list. Give me 48 hours. I usually check it every 24 hours all during the summer, but just in case, give me 48 hours. If I haven't liked it in 48 hours, it could be somehow it slipped under the radar. It also could be that your account is private. If you have a private account and you still want me to be able to see your photos and get you on the list and like your photos, send me a message on Instagram to request that I become your friend, and I'll send in the request, and once you approve it, I can see your account. And you can unfriend me at the end of the summer if you want to. I will not at all be offended if it's just a temporary thing for Cross Stitch Camp. All right, and so that's the first rule, is to post the first of the month, each month, showing your project, showing that you haven't started yet. You're going to start that day. And then by the end of the month, you have to post a finished picture. So it doesn't have to be fully finished, but it needs to show that you've gotten all the stitching done. Again, only if you want to be entered in the end of the month drawings. If you don't finish it, it is no big deal. Don't put pressure on yourself. But if you do get it finished and want to be entered into those drawings, post a picture, again with the hashtags. Now, I always do drawings for everybody who participates. So if you've posted on the first of the month, and even if you never finish and never post another picture, you're entered into the drawing. And I do the random generator, and I count, and all of those things. For the end of the month people who have finished, there are more prizes for end of month, because, if you did get it all done in a month, you should have a little more eligibility into different prizes too. So even if you don't finish, you're still entered, but if you do finish, you're entered into more prizes. All right, and that goes on each month: June 1st and June 30th, July 1st, July 31st, August 1st, August 31st. Any of those months you want to participate, that is how to participate. We do have a group of, let's see, how do I say that? Social media of discussion is Facebook. So I can't take your pictures on the Facebook group as part of the drawing, because that doesn't work with the random generator and numbers. But please feel free to post them on our Cross Stitch Camp group on Facebook. I will link to that group below. We had a lot of fun chatting and seeing progress and talking about projects last summer, and actually the group has gone on, of course, through the year. We had winter camp in February, and that was super fun. So that is a place where if you are on Facebook and you want to chit chat about camp, feel free to join us over there. All right, let's see if there's anything else I forgot to tell you about camp. I'm sure there is. Maybe not. All right. Commonly asked questions. I go over these on the website page that I wrote up for you too, but one is, I don't use Instagram. How can I participate? Well, I kind of covered that. Again, Instagram is just for the record. If you just want to participate in camp and have fun and be a part of the group, that's totally fine. You don't have to have Instagram. That's just to be eligible for drawings. I posted my photo with the hashtags, but you haven't liked my photo yet. Why not? Again, probably I can't see it, so send me a message if it's been 48 hours. I'm a maker designer shop and would like to donate some things for prizes. I would love for you all to donate things for prizes. And even if you're not one of those, but you have, let's say you've bought, I've already had people donate patterns that they've bought twice, and so they send me the extra one and say, save this for camp prizes, and that's super helpful. But everything that comes in goes back out in the prizes. So if you make bags, if you make little thread keeps, if you are a shop and want to donate a gift certificate, if you are a pattern designer and want to donate patterns, that would be wonderful. And you can send them to the address on the ColoradoCrossStitcher.com website. And I have a huge section of bins that I put them all in. I store them all till the end of the month. I divide them all up between the 3 months and ship them all out to the winners. Last question, do I need to purchase my supplies from your ColoradoCrossStitcher.com shop in order to participate? You do not. You can use Stash if you want to use Stash. You can buy new things if you want to buy new things, but it's totally up to you. If you do decide that you need some supplies or want to order, though, please leave us a note in your order that says, I'm doing camp, because I have a cute little thing for you. So this is our camp logo this year. We're glamping. We're glamping in our campers. I'm going to tell you something fun about that too. So we got floss drops done up with our cute little glamper camper, and a sticker for your calendar if you keep track of your stitches in a calendar like I do. Or you can put it, the other idea I thought is it'd be kind of fun to put this sticker on the patterns that you use for camp, because then you'll remember, oh, I did that for camp in 2022. So if you do order from us and you include that you're doing camp, we will be happy to put this in your order so you can celebrate. Now, I did do a camp badge, and I'm going to show you my project bag. So let's see if I can just get this one in the, can you see that? That's the glamper camper for the camp badge this year. And you see mountains behind because, you know, we're sponsoring it in Colorado. But here's the thing. So I am encouraging you to design, not necessarily design your own camper, but choose colors that you love. Like, you know, I love polka dots, so I made the bottom polka dotted. I love teals and reds together, so I used that in mine. I would love to see everybody's camper look completely different. Maybe you're a purple and pink person. Maybe you are a taupe and orange person, but ideally we would all be pulling up to the campfire in our own personalized glamper campers. And so I would love to see you guys do all different things with this particular pattern, just so we can see all the different varieties. So you will find the pattern, well, first of all, you'll find all the information about camp under What's New. So if you go to the home page and you do the drop-down menu for What's New, summer camp is in there, as well as new products to the shop. If you're looking for the badge, and the camper badge is free, go to Patterns on the top of the home page, do the drop down, and then over on the right hand side are all the free patterns. So all of these past badges, so this was the summer badge last year, and this was our winter camp badge this February. And so all three of these badges are under the free patterns, along with a few other free patterns that I've done that you're welcome to get as well. So cannot wait to see your campers, and you can start that now. Like if you're ready to do camp but you can't start your project for June until June 1st, now's a great time to be working on your badge. And I always encourage people to have a camping project bag if you're going to do this, you know, over the years with us. And so it's fun to kind of put these on all of your, put all of your badges on the one bag. Okay, so that is camp for this year, and I really hope you'll join us. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to join, and maybe what you're thinking about. If you want to talk in the comments below about, well, I'm thinking about doing this, or what would you think of that? And also join the Facebook group if you want to do more chit-chatting about camp. And I'm really excited, and I can't wait to pick my 3 things. Like I said, I've thought about the holiday one, but I haven't picked my other 2 patterns for July and August. Can't wait to get to them. All right, that's all for sharing about my personal stitching and cross-stitch camp. Now I'm going to move into sharing just a few things that have come into the shop recently that I wanted to show you, and then we'll be done for today. So the first thing is this beautiful Patriotic Book by Teresa Kogut. And all of the patterns, 7 patterns, so let me see if I can get a little closer. All 7 of those patterns are in here. And so some of them would be great framed, some of them would be cute as pillows, but it is just a really fun book. Now that I say this, maybe I'll do one of these for my holiday. Yeah, might do one of those instead. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, that's brand new. We just got it this week and it has gone well because there's so many fun things in there. Also, another patriotic book is the Twin Peaks book. And these are super fun patriotic pin pillows. So these would be a little smaller. Let's see if I can get closer. A little smaller to do too, if you're interested in doing some of that. I always love patriotic things. So in fact, I might talk about patriotic things in the next Flosstube, we'll see. So that's fun. And then, I don't think I've ever shared this, Twin Peaks also has an Easter book, and I know Easter is past, but that's another example of something that might be good to use for this first challenge in June, making yourself a few spring project pillows. So those are all new in the shop. And then I told you I would share with you, now I've lost the other one under my pile, the different For the Bowl series that Lori has done from Threadmilk Design. So, and each one, well, this one has 4, this one has 5, 4 or 5 different patterns. So this one is for Halloween. This one is for spring, Bunny Bungalow, Cozy Christmas Cottage. And then we had the one that I already shared with you for the Thanksgiving one, which was really fun. We do have more Keeper of the Pins in stock finally, and more I Collects. Now this is another one that I'm going to do very soon because it looks so cute with the tomato pillows. So both of those are restocked. Here is that other Quaker Christmas from ByGone Stitches. And I probably won't do this one because I don't know. Then I look at it and I think that would be so fun. And it might be kind of cool to do it like in a pine green. So then I'd have a mostly red and a mostly green. Yeah, I might. Okay, I might. So that's Christmas. Quaker Christmas. The other one was Quaker Christmas 2. She also has Quaker Virtues. I mean, there are just so many fun motifs in there. And then she has Quaker Peace, also a pretty one. So that's a new designer that we just added to the shop, as well as Scattered Seed Samplers, which I showed you a couple of those that I picked for my own personal stash. Forbidden Fibers Fabrics is a new indie dyed fabric designer that we have in the shop that we just got in this week, and I sent a bucket load of them out this week, but we do still have some in stock. And then the last thing I want to show you is the new bag line. You know, I'm a bag person. I always notice bags when I go places, and if I see some that I think, oh, like everybody at the shop would love that, you know, I jump in and buy some. So Mega bags are the new bags that I've added to the shop, and they're heavy, very heavy duty canvas. This is the Commuter Tote, which I have been taking to and from work, which I love. And so it has an over-the-shoulder strap, which is detachable if you don't like that, if you just want to carry it. Has a front pocket, has a side pocket for your drinks or your phone or your keys. It has a divider in the middle that's padded if you want to take your tablet or your laptop And for those of you who stitch off of your laptop or your iPad, this is great if you're going to take your stitching somewhere. Then it has a little hook here for your keys or your scissors. And it also has some, let's see, two inside pockets and then a zip pocket here. So really fun bags. This lemon fabric is limited edition, so I don't think we'll be able to get those back, but all the rest of the ones we can get back, and I will reorder these because they're going out pretty quickly. And then the other size that I got in was the carry-all. So this is how the two compare. The carry-all is bigger than the Commuter Tote, but the Commuter Tote zips at the top and has more stuff going on, of course. Now the carry-all I think is good for toting a lot of project bags, which I always seem to have. It opens up really wide so you can get a lot in there. It does have a snap at the top, and it has a phone pocket, 1, 2, 3 pockets. No zipper pockets like the other one, but it has 3 pockets. So also cute, don't you think? So those are Make-A bags. You can find them in our What's New section, or I think if you put bags in the search box, you'll find them there too. Okay, I think that's it. I hope you're excited about camp. Now that I've done this, now I want to go through my stash and through the patterns at work and figure out what I'm going to do this summer. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited to share that with you and to see what you guys are going to do for camp. That'll be super fun. All right, thanks for joining me today, and always thank you for your comments. I read all of the comments, and the weekend I put up the Flosstube is, when a lot of the comments come in, and it's just like this, it's like hearing from a bunch of friends, because I recognize so many of you now because you're so good about regularly leaving comments, and it's fun chatting with you in the comments. Like I said, I read every one of them. I always hit the love button, and as much as I can, I comment, especially if you've got questions or you've asked questions or whatever. So it's just fun for me, and that's one of the reasons I started Flosstube, was to make stitchy friends. So thank you for being my stitchy friends. Thank you for watching, spending your time with me today, and I will see you again in 3 or 4 weeks. Bye.